As the sun was starting to break, it's now starting to become early morning. Much of the special forces sat and waited for the order to pursue those that were fleeing the fortified stronghold of the Reach. In the meantime, Aegon then, with a few of other mounted cavalry and heavy cavalry right out of ways, to oversee the battlefield. Many lie dead all over the ground, and to some astonishment, very few of his men had been conquered or killed, but there are many from the Reach that did not make it through the night. Then it becomes the time to announce their victory. Shall we go after them? No. That is what they would want us to do. Remember what I said before we started our battle. We don't want to be overzealous. Right now, the victory is ours. As you wish, Prince Aegon. By the way, I hope you know that this is your victory, my victory, but it was your battle, Prince Aegon. Yes, I know. But this is for you. Then he dismounts his horse. As you all know, my aunt, from what I've read, took the authority before she acted in rage against the Red Keep and removed a certain bastardy from your half-brother Gendry. Same father, just different mothers. Yes, I heard something about that. I haven't really read it. Well, I have. And it also would seem that since I can't be in two places at once, who else would I trust our victory than in the hands of my best friend? That would be you, Edric Storm. Or should I now address you as Edric Baratheon? Your Grace. Then he takes his sword out. Please kneel. You do trust me, don't you? Yes, of course. So Edric Storm then kneels down on one knee, not sure what to expect. Sorry, didn't mean to laugh at you. After all, you're my best friend, and the look on your face was, well, that was kind of golden. Besides, you have given me no reason to take your head. So then he taps him on both his shoulders. I hereby, as Aegon VII Targaryen, seventh in his name, of the Rhoynar and all the annals, hereby declare you the Lord of the new name, the, well, let's see, we can either call it Bararigon or Taratheon. Then he kind of gets a smile on his face. Yes, let us call it that. I hereby name you Lord, tapping him on both shoulders, as the new Lord of House Taratheon. Both Baratheon, because of your bloodline being half like that of Gendry's, and Targaryen, because to some extent you are right, it was my victory. But again, this is not what I want. I have another quest, another mission that I have to accomplish. You are my best friend, Edric. Please stand, for now you are a lord of the Fort Taratheon. So he stands, and then Aegon sheaths the sword and then holds it out to him. Your Grace, you gonna take the sword, or am I going to get tired holding this thing all the time? So he takes the sword. What kind of lord would you be anyway if you didn't have a sword? All the men start laughing as well. Well, I guess that would be true, Besides, the sword that you have is merely a battle sword. It's not even worthy enough to be that for the Lord. Perhaps you'll find somebody that you can promote and give your sword to them. I guess that would be a good idea. And also by my decree, as Aegon VII Targaryen, seventh in my name. Just as my aunt removed the bastardy from Gendry, I hereby remove your bastardy. From this day forth, you shall no longer be known as Edric Storm. You're a Baratheon. Now act like one and be proud, for you are Edric Baratheon from this day forward. Everybody applauds and cheers on the battlefield. Well, thank you, Your Grace. So, we're going to need to fly a banner. And I came up with this one. Wow. Baratheon and your seagull. Yes, I figured it would be fitting. Besides, I'm sure House Baratheon over there, they know that we've already been up to something. And I'm sure they're going to be very interested as to what's going on. This should actually stir something up. Aegon team enjoys this. This will be flown on where everyone can see on the fort. Well, I guess victory is yours. Lilith's kind of striding up. I know the men are tired, so we have a little ways to go before we hit the old castle of House Blackfire. Yeah, you're right, Lilith. And I think what we should do then is make our way so that we can get well rested up. We never know what might happen as a result. Lord Edric, I'm leaving some men here from various areas to keep you fortified, since we don't really have a whole lot of friends in Westeros that we can count on that would back us, especially being the Reach is part of House Baratheon, or at least it was. We're going to need to make sure that we have the toughest men here to keep defense. Make sure you use good judgment and make the men do shifts changes so that everyone can get a full rest for having been fighting all night. I will, Your Grace. We will be doing the same once we reach House Blackfire, the old abandoned castle, where my wife and women and children and servants and some other men are waiting for us. In that case, then, let no one challenge the decree that I've made. You are a Baratheon. You're no longer Storm. Others may call you that, but I'm sure you can set the record straight. I will. So then Prince Aegon then remounts his horse. Well, congratulations, Lord Edric Baratheon. Thank you, Lilith. Never thought I'd be honored like this. I'm actually not worthy for such an honor. Valerian sword with a stag head and my no longer being known as a bastard. Well, I think that he feels that you've earned it. While it may be true this was his victory, it is you who has to maintain the defense here. So therefore it is your victory, and today is your day. So, in agreement, Lord Edric nods his head towards Lilith as she walks off to one side, getting ready to continue her journey with Prince Aegon VII. I may be in need of you, my good friend, Lord Baratheon, so don't think this is the last you've seen of me. Perhaps, maybe if I have free time, I'll come and pay you a visit with some men and see how you're doing. Yes, I would like that. Maybe I can visit you too. Well, as long as you remember to have someone that you trust to hold the fort while you come to visit us at the abandoned, soon to be occupied House Blackfire Castle. Well, I do appreciate everything. May the gods go with you, Prince Aegon VII, and travel safely, Your Grace. I will. And you take care of yourself. I don't want to have to read about you on a scroll carried by a crow. Well, they'll have a tough battle on their hands if they try. Yes, I'm sure they would. And so with that, Prince Aegon then gives a signal, and what's left of the men take formation and start to march. And thus it becomes the marching theme as a march to the mountains out of sight. Well, just as it seemed as the one war was a victory majorly by sacking the fortress of the Reach by Prince Aegon VII and his forces. Another one is now brewing because it is early morning. So now the scene goes to the outskirts of House Tully, and as everyone starts marching, this becomes the scene of forces charging forward as the Freys notice, and with what forces they have, try to defend the castle since they were caught off guard and not able to get inside right away. As they do so, of course, the gate is raised, and not realizing that because of the White Walker War, Lannisters and the main Frey kingdom are unable to assist, because two House Baratheon forces also are on the march to blockade any attempts, even if they are low in numbers, to come to the aid of the one who occupies House Tully. As the battle rages on out front, they don't know that, once again, Edmure Tully, the last of House Tully lineage, happens to know a certain secret that the Frey occupant does not know about. And he wasn't aware of it at the time when he had done it before, when Sir Jaime Lannister was still alive and had given House Tully over to Lord Frey and his wife, Jenna Lannister. So they go through the back way, and lo and behold, nothing has changed, and he's able to reach a certain mechanism, removing a certain stone or brick, that allows the back gate, while waist high in water, to open up, and Edmure Tully then, quietly, with some men behind him, sneaks into the castle. As this continues, then Lord Tully is then making taunts down from the wall to those that are fighting. Well, you're not going to get in here. If I remember correctly, this castle cannot be impregnated. What he doesn't realize is that at the time when he's making his final, or will be his final, gesture at those fighting down below, you might want to think about that. And he draws his sword. What the? And slams him with his foot to his chest, knocking him over on a table. Then, as he stands back ready to draw a sword, I would think twice about doing that. First off, this castle is not yours, not any longer, and it wasn't his to give. I think you might want to hear what the Queen of the North has to say, unless you want to be branded a heretic and be executed for heresy against the King of the realm. What? A Stark? King Brandon? Who isn't even a bloodline to the throne, which doesn't even exist anymore, just a red keep. He's not even a real king. Well, we have a real queen down below, and nevertheless, he was appointed, and you will respect his decree. Or we have a nice tree out front, ready for your neck. Unless the queen wants to take that privilege. All right, everybody stand down. Looks like we didn't catch that. Some dang fool should have checked to make sure all secret doorways were sealed. Oh, he starts mumbling under his breath, not happy that he got caught off guard. Eventually, the gate drawbridge is lowered, and he makes his way out, followed by his wife, Jenna Lannister, and what's left of the men from inside, as they have surrendered their arms and now come out with their hands up, which in case then, according to the realm of the kingdom laws, once one gives up their sword, they cannot be killed or executed. Well, Lord Frey, Sansa just stares at him. I do believe that your time is up. Oh, and where is your friend? Oh, that's right. Sir Jaime Lannister's dead, so who's going to defend you now? King Johnson rides forward a little bit. Yes, and as also a king from House Harroway, reinstated thanks to King Brandon, I would say you're greatly outnumbered. We all know that since the White Walker War, the Lannisters and the Kingdom of Frey going to be riding to your rescue. Although we made sure of that with the Baratheon forces blocking both east and west. So what are you going to do now? I would say that if I was you, thank goodness I'm not, everybody starts laughing, I would surrender. So you either die by execution from Lord Edmure Tully, or I believe the Queen here has something that she can relate to you that comes from her father. Yes, my father once said, Ned Stark, he who passes judgment swings the sword. While I would not take great pleasure in it, if I have to pass judgment because you will not obey the order of a king, then I shall pass judgment, and I would love nothing better than to swing the sword and remove your head, and that way House Tully will be back to where it belongs, in the hands of a Tully. I think you better read this. Sansa then hands it to the Baratheon uh, assigned protector who is in charge of the forces on both east and west doing the blockade. Read it. That's all he says. And so the Lord takes it from him gruffly, opens the seal, and reads it. I can't hear you when you grumble. So what are we supposed to do when we have nowhere else to go? Well, you always have somewhere else to go. You can go back to the kingdom of House Frey, for all I care. On the other hand, I am obligated to offer you another castle, since it seems to have been abandoned for a few years now, and the only remaining two uh, heirs of the Dreadfort for House Bolton seems to have been empty for a long time. I don't see why a good castle should go to waste. There you can take up your residency there. What, in a crap hole like that? That place looks like a dung pile. It's not even worth spit. That may be true, but that's your choice. Or perhaps your wife will be good enough to let you go to Casterly Rock and you take up residence at her place. I know she'll always have a place to go, even if you were to be executed for her heresy, for not obeying a king's order, or by my hand, or the one who has his sword pointed at you from in back, Lord Tully. So, which do you wish to choose? Can he do this? It looks like we have no choice. We're outnumbered, obviously, by a ragtag group of soldiers. But then again, what can we do? Yes, what can you do? So, if you wish to resist, we're prepared to meet your resistance with resistance. Yeah, well, this is not going to be the last you hear of us. For your sake, it better be the last we hear of you. I will remember this. Queen of the North, Sansa Stark. Yes, I hope you do, Lady Lannister. Remember it well. This is House Tully Castle, not Frey's. Make sure that they're escorted to the border of up to House Bolton's um, Dreadfort Kingdom borders. We will. So, with that, then, they stand by as Lord Frey mounts his horse. Jenna gets in her um, carriage, and the rest of the Freys, what's left of them, mount their horses and slowly march off behind the Lord Frey as they are now defeated. Well, I didn't think it was going to work, but that was a good plan. Well, I may be your niece, but I do happen to know some things about warfare. Yes, apparently you do. I have to say I'm a very proud uncle at this point. Sansa has a smile about this. Well, good. Then I guess you'll have some things that you're going to need to take care of, like securing your borders. And as far as getting those who once were sworn to you, that may take a while. Yes, but also remember, Your Grace, that uh, King or Lord Gendry of House Baratheon did leave me in charge of the 2 blockades. So once he finds out who will re-swear their oaths to him, your uncle, Lord Tully here, well, then the Baratheon forces will no longer be needed for blockade, and they can return back to House Baratheon. Say maybe like, oh, couple of weeks, maybe not even a fortnight. I think that would be a good plan. Well, thank you, Your Grace. That is Queen of the North, my niece. It is great that House Tully now, once taken, is back in the hands where it belongs. I believe if your mother was alive, Caitlin Tully, she would have been very proud of you. Yes, and she would have been very proud of you, being her younger brother. So with that, they hug each other, and Lord Tully, with some men staying behind, and the blockade on east and west remaining until Lord Tully gets things situated, possibly cleaning out Frey garbage, as they might call it, from the castle. Sansa then rides back to their base camp so that they can break base camp, and if they are fortunate enough, probably make it back to Winterfell by nightfall. So this becomes the return of House Tully and a victory for the House Stark lineage. In this part, the Martells have already broken camp and are now on the way, continuing to see if Prince Aegon VI, who Queen Arrianne Martell does not know that he is already married and is on the way to see if he is available, to which she can call upon him as a paramour, since she is now a queen, to House Martell. As we recall, House Martell went for the longest time in many centuries with no queen until just recently. So in this short scene, it will show who all's in the crowd. And one of the brothers that are in the group bears a pole with a white flag or banner. In human world of planet Earth, this would be the same as a truce or under a flag of peace, not so much surrender. And so this then becomes their travel until they reach to a certain point and discover the onslaught that took place late that night while they were camping. Suddenly, the group comes to a stop at Daemon holding up his hand, and he only does so because of Darkstar seems to be holding his hand up as well and points. Looks like danger. Daemon, kind of surprised, looks over at Darkstar. Wow, first time I got to hear you speak. That's because I only say something when it's important. Okay. See that over there? Looks like there was a great battle here, late at night, but nobody is usually trained at nighttime warfare. Yeah, you're right. Then the carriage, which is also stopped, Queen Arianna, then has her door opened by one of the guards. Why are we stopped? Apparently, we're coming upon what's left of a great battle that took place while we were camped. I think it might be best if you wait here, Your Grace, while we go ahead and check this out. Very well. So, I'm going to need some of the guards to stay here. Some will follow me. And, Dalton, you're going to try to come with me, just in case. So if they see our white banner, they know we're not invading. We are on a peaceful mission. Agreed. So they go forward as Queen Arianna stands outside of her carriage watching them move forward slowly. Most of the bodies, of course, have been removed that are Baratheon. The others, which they are not aware of, that are sworn to Bronn, are left in the field. Whatever took place here must have been quite the battle scene. And there's burnt spots, even though yesterday it was raining. Yes, and how can anything burn in water? Sorcery, you think? Perhaps, but of an unknown origin. Besides, I thought sorcery was outlawed long ago. So did I. So they are looking around carefully not to trample on corpses, and then, unexpectedly, they hear a slight rumbling, and then a bunch of men, both on horses as well as foot soldiers, suddenly show up and encircle them. Nobody move, keep still. Let them see that we have no ill intentions. So as the soldiers then circle about, finally everybody stands still. Lord Edric Baratheon and his bodyguard ride forward into the circle of surrounding soldiers from Fort Taratheon, as it is now dubbed, from the Reach. Lost your way, Martells? Looks like you're off on the beaten path. Yes, I would say these Martells don't know how to read a map. Well, for your information, we don't need a map, and we already know where we're headed. Well, last I recall, the Reach was under House Baratheon. However, I don't recognize your banner with a stag with dragon wings or a three different colored head dragon seagull of House Targaryen. Well, that's because Prince Aegon now is in control of the Reach, and I am his appointed lord of the fort, as he has other business to tend to up in the mountainside. Well then, we're here to see your prince. And what business would you have of him? Well, that business is of the queen's, and hers alone. But, obviously you can see our white banner here. Points towards Dalton. Dalton nods, but has a serious look on his face. If we were going to invade, do you think we would really be foolish enough to come with just a few men, a queen, who we're sworn to protect, and act so carelessly and recklessly? No, I suppose you wouldn't. So who am I addressing then? Let us get to know one another. I am Lord Edric Baratheon of the now known Fort Taratheon. A Taratheon. Yes, that is why the banner is made in such a way. My seagull, of course, is the stag with the dragon wings, because I'm sworn to loyalty of Aegon the VI Targaryen. Sixth Targaryen. Daemon thinks about this. The only Aegon I recall is the one that was sentenced to the wall for having betrayed Queen Daenerys Targaryen's trust in killing her. And now that she's dead, he only gets sent back to the wall as what? Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. Well, that part is true. Although I would say from what we've heard, she isn't dead. Come now, you jest. No, and you still haven't told me your name. Fine, I am Daemon Sands. This here, my partner, is Lord Darkstar. The one holding the banner behind me, that is Dalton. And we're here on a peaceful mission. Okay. So, again, what business? Well, okay. You've already told me that. No point me in asking you this again. Well, I hate to disappoint you, but Prince Aegon VI Targaryen is not here. As I said, he had business to take care of up in the mountains. Do you know when he'll return? No, but what I can do for you is I can point you the way to go there. Well, I am, as I said before, if I haven't said already, I am Daemon Sands. And he makes a motion, and so the other group starts moving forward. Perhaps you should meet our queen. The last I recall, House Martell hasn't had a queen in a few centuries now? Well, that has changed. And since Martell Kingdom business is not for me to discuss, and I would imagine the Queen's not going to share that with another kingdom, just as another kingdom is not going to share their business with us, things have changed. I can see. Finally, the carriage comes to a stop, and she comes out. This is Queen Arrianne Martell, daughter of the former ruling prince, Doran Martell. In Doran deceased? Yes, he is, but his daughter is not. I am Queen Arrianne Martell, and who are you? I am Lord Edric Baratheon of the now renamed Fort Taratheon, as you can see by my banner hanging up on the wall. We can see that there must have been a great battle we missed, but usually no one's trained at night warfare. Yes, well, we have a good leader, Prince Aegon VI Targaryen. Yes, and I am here to see him. Well, as I told your friend here, Daemon, he's not here. And no, I don't know when he's coming back, but I can point you to the direction since you are under a banner of peace. You think that's wise? Well, obviously, if they're going to attack, like Daemon said, he would have came with more men. And certainly we outnumber him, even with the forces that our Prince Aegon left us. Perhaps you're right. So, Queen Arrianne I, let me show you my humble respect to you then. And so, Lord Edric Baratheon then humbly bows before her. I appreciate your hospitality of great mannerisms, and so when do we have your permission to pass? Well, considering it's already probably high noon, by the time you get to the mountains, it'll be dark. It's also a place that you wouldn't want to wander freely. There are some that they might be called free folks, others call them Highlanders. If you ever met a short guy named Tyrion, he can tell you what those people are like. They attack at will for any time that they want, and it just wouldn't be a good idea with such few people, such as yourself and you being a queen, travel in the mountains. They wander from the foot slopes of the mountains there all the way up to um, the Erie, and they're quite skillful in being very sneaky and surprisingly hostile. Perhaps it would be best if you stayed as our guests, as I will give you guest rights to Fort Taratheon. And what of the Reach? Why haven't they come to confront you on this? Well, we are expecting them to. I'm sure Lord Gendry has a few questions wants to ask, but he hasn't done that yet. We had to do work in shifts to get our rest. After all that late night killing that wore us out. But in the end, the victory became ours. Very well then, you may lead us on, and we accept your guest rights offer. So with that, then she gets back into the carriage, and Aegon and his bodyguard lead the way, and they continue their peaceful march to the fort Taratheon.